Hi Scrappy friends, welcome back to my video. Today we're going to make 5 Halloween inspired embellishments to go along with my Creative Memories Boo-Yah Collection. This collection is super cute. I don't think it needs any special enhancements. I just want to have a little bit of fun and get some pre-made embellishments created just so that I can have them ready to do some layouts. So in a previous video you might have seen where I went through and punched out a bunch of different punches and things that I wanted to use on my pages. I made some little spider webs and then I just punched out a bunch of different things in Halloween colors. So I'll link that video at the end of this video. If you haven't seen it, you can go over there and take a look. For today's video, like I said, we're going to make 5 DIY embellishments, and actually it's probably gonna be more like 7 because one of them I have a couple of variations for you. And I am going to be using a lot of my stickers that came with the kit. And one thing I didn't think about beforehand was that in creating these, I probably should have gotten two sets of stickers because I'm going to use quite a bit of them. But what I did have was I have the digital art kit for this as well. So for the samples that you're going to see here, I went ahead and printed from the digital art kit. The moon here and this word bubble there, those came from the digital art kit. With the digital art kit, you can do different sizes. I tried to get as close to the sticker size as possible, but when I recreate these for you, you might see a slight little bit of variance. Some of these will have a couple extra tools that I'm going to bring in besides what I used for the embellishment cluster pieces, and then most of them just require a little bit of scrap. So grab your stuff and we'll go ahead and get going. So for this one, of course, you know I'm not going to do this without using my favorite punch, which is the 3-in-1 beveled tag punch. So for this one, I just used a 2-inch wide piece of scrap. The back side would make a gorgeous tag as well, but I really want to focus on this part with the icon. I went with a little smaller. Usually I go 2.5, but I like the small width of this. I usually cut these down to about 4 inches. Let's go a little bit longer on today's and do it 4 1/4. I did something a little different here and I made a little tag reinforcer. So I wanted to show you how I did that. I just used a little piece of black scrap, brought in my hole punch. Any hole punch will do. And I'm just trying to go a little bit away from the edges and give it a punch. And then I bring in this little 1/2-inch circle punch I've had in my punch collection for so long, and it's the perfect size for the reinforcer. I like to turn it over so I could see, and then I take this center from the hole punch and I just get it as centered as I possibly could and punch it out. And that gives me a little reinforcer that I can use for my tag. Next, let's bling up our tag a little bit. You'll see down here I added a cute little ruffle edge and a strip of orange shimmer just to kind of add a little something down here at the bottom. So for the black, I used the pinking blade and I just trimmed a little piece of black from my scrap cardstock. In fact, this will be probably just plenty. There we go. And we can use this little piece right here. And while we have this out, let's go ahead and trim off a piece of the orange shimmer. I just used like 1/8 of an inch. So I just went to the second line there on my cutting mat, thin piece. See, very thin, don't need much there. And I just put it like that and lined up the tag so you can decide how much you want of the black to be showing. If you want a little bit more, move it up. I just trimmed off the edge. Then with this thin orange piece, I just covered up the seam between the green paper and the black. And I think I want to move the black down just a tad, have a little bit more exposed, and there we go. And that just added a little bit of bling already before we start adding our punch outs. For this one, I used one of my pre-cut spider webs and I went with the black one. And when I lay this on here, I'm just gonna look for the best area. So for example, I want the crow to be showing, and I like how the little cat's face is just popping up right there. So I'm just gonna position it over the wizard hat. I wanted it to be hanging off and protruding off the side of the tag like that. So let's go ahead and get this positioned in there. I'm going to try to keep that those stars showing there. And then for the scallop here, I pulled in a orange shimmer scallop, and I'm going to place this slightly, again, overlapping my tag, hanging into the spider web, but I also want to pay attention to what's on my pattern paper. I like the little bat there, so I want to make sure I see that. And in fact, I'm going to pop this one up onto some foam tape like I did over here. Again, over into the spider web, off the tag, and there. Now we can see the bat even more that I popped it up onto some foam. And then to decorate with the moon and stars, I'll bring in my sticker sheet and take this crescent moon like that, and then a little star. Oop, that one's falling off. And we'll go like that. And same thing up here. I'm going to bring in a scalloped, and it's going to be black this time. Place it again somewhere up here, but before I get my permanent position, let's go ahead and get the tabs pulled out. We used a purple one, a green one, and another purple. So I'm just going to lay those underneath my tag like that. Stagger them a little bit so the purple is more hanging out more than the green. Yep, I like that placement. And then for this, we'll grab our sticker sheet again and pull off the word eek. Again, you can pop it up on foam tape or not. I did not over here, but I think I'm going to for this one. And then I did a couple extra little finishing touches. I brought in my gold shimmer pen, and I thought I would add a little extra bling just by going around the edge of the scallop. I feel like it's Halloween, and we could add a little bit extra sparkle to our decorations here. There, once that dries, it's just going to add a little bit more of Halloween sparkle to our embellishment. And then the last thing is to bring in some twine, and I decided to go with green. Any of the Halloween colors would be great, but I happen to have green. I like to fold it in half and make the edges uneven, and then I pinch it, put it through the hole, and pull it through like that. And then I do like to give it a little bit more of a trim, and once I put it on my page, I will also be I might also trim it. So there we go. That's number one. Let me clean up some of this stuff and we'll get ready for embellishment number 2. Hold on. Before I go on to number 2, I wanted to bring back in my sample from the first one because I forgot to mention that I mentioned that I used the digital art kit to print and cut out these little embellishments, but what I neglected to mention was here on the moon, you can see it has a little bit of shimmer just like our stickers do, that little bit of glistening like the star sticker right there. Let's see if I can get that up there so you can see it. There we go. And I did that with my shimmer pen. So I took the printout and put some shimmer on it to make it look like it does in the sticker as well. Okay, just wanted to point that out before I go on. I did that anytime I saw that the sticker sheet may have had some shimmer and shine to it. I went ahead and used my clear shimmer pen to do that. Okay, so on to number 2, and this is what we have here. It's super easy. I'm gonna love to show you this one. So I basically started off by putting the skull head on top of a black scallop. So let's go ahead and pull one of those in, and our skull sticker, which is right here. I did pop it up onto some foam in the first one, so let's go ahead and do that. Now here you'll see a size difference because of my printing it out on the Cricut. So I'm just going to place this like that. I want it to kind of hang off the top a little. That's okay. We're going to build up around it. And then underneath here, I brought in a scrap of the Gravity Grape and my 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I just punched out one of these, then put it right on top like that. I did do some double foam there. I like that look, but it will add bulk to your album. So if that's not your thing, then maybe you'd want it to just be flat. But I am going to go ahead and pop this up for our demonstration. Now let's bring in our spider webs. Here we go. I put two, one on each side, and I just kind of moved them around until I liked it. Obviously I wanted it to still look like a spider web, so I have that Halloween feel. Yeah, there we go. I like that a lot. So I'll go ahead and get this adhered down. And then I kind of still want to build up and out, so I brought in some of the banners that I previously cut. I brought in an orange shimmer one and tucked it in like that, and then a Terra green one, this bright fun green. They're a little bit longer than I need, so I'm going to just trim them down a bit so that they tuck in a little bit easier. There we go. And I still had a little piece of that foam tape under there holding that in place. And then for this part right here where it says this Stay Spooky, for that I used a sticker. It's this one right here, and I trimmed off the little spider web. I kept the little lines, but I just trimmed off the spider web. And so of course I'm going to save that for another project. And then I kind of backed it onto a little bit of Terra green here, a little scrap. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, I'm going to just evenly space it out. And then I'm going to tuck it right up underneath the skull and the scallop circle. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of repositionable tape and give it a little tuck. Still want to be able to see the words. And there we go. Stay spooky. Now this is the one where I have a couple different additions for you. This is really cute, but if you wanted to make something a little smaller, I thought this would be kind of an off take of this, where I just took the scallop and a little circle and put one sticker on top. So let's recreate that really quickly. For this one, I did punch out a few scallop circles on some of this dotted paper that came with the collection, because I thought that's just so playful and fun. For the circle, bring this in, place that like that, super cute. I did pop this up onto some foam. And then I brought in the bat from over here and put it just like this. Here, this one I will not use foam, and you'll see it's just as cute without the foam. That's just a smaller version of just using the scallop, a little bit of extra color, and a sticker. But I do have one more to show you in this theme, and that's if maybe you didn't want to use a circle shape. I thought, well, let's bring in a square. I do need to bring in a couple extra punches. I need to bring in our square punch and our square scallop. So first thing is I want to punch out a square with the dotted paper. The square scallop, I will use the green, the Terra green, and place it like this. Again, I'll put some foam underneath and place it like this, and bring in another one of our handy dandy little spider webs that we made, and only show the part that I like. And then for the stickers I added here, I brought in this Halloween sticker and put it right down here. I love that. And then I brought in a crow from the sticker sheet. It's this one here that's flying. And I popped that up onto some foam as well. There we go. So 3 different versions of the same one. Got a little bit of a bonus there for coming to my video today. You got 3 for the price of 1. But I liked all of them, so I couldn't decide, so I wanted to share all of those with you. Let me clean this up and we'll get right to number 3. Okay, we are on to number 3, and I hope that you're enjoying these DIY embellishments. I'm sure having a lot of fun doing them. I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you to please click that like button. You guys know the drill. It helps the algorithm send my YouTube video out to so many more people to come over and join our scrapbooking community. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Okay, let's go on with the number 3, which I did a very simple one this time. It's just a little banner using one of my little spider webs that I liked to make. That was so much fun. And a couple pieces of scrap. So I have a 1 by 4 inch strip of black, and then this is just a tad smaller at 3/4 of an inch by probably about 3 3/4 or 3 1/4. So, but this one we're going to trim down. Okay, so very easy. We're going to make this black one into a little banner strip by giving it a little banner cut at the end. And then this one I would like to be nestled on top. So let me go ahead and get that adhered where I like it. I'm just going to eyeball it so it looks like the same amount of space around. I only put adhesive on the second half so I could still move this around. So I want to come in here and kind of follow what I did down here. So I'm going to come up right to the center, and I'm going to have to go a little higher on this one. So the same thing. And I think I went a little too high, but it would be okay. But I'm just going to trim the black a little bit more, and there we go. And I'm going to come back in and put a little more adhesive on the ends to hold down those points. Then of course I'm going to bring in a spider web, and I'm going to kind of line it up so that the black part right there is on top of the black like that, but it doesn't really matter. That looks cute. And grab the sticker sheet because it has the cute spider right here that's already in a web. So I liked that. I thought that was really neat. And I'm going to take the sticky off the back here so I can store it and so that it doesn't get stuck to anything else. And then I'm just going to position this point in the middle of the web like that. And you can have it hanging down as much as you want, but I like that. And then I'm going to bring in this little banner that says "Creep It Real." I thought that was cute and appropriate for our little spider. And it's this one right here. And I'm going to pop that up onto a little bit of foam. And this I'm going to bring so that it kind of overlaps the spider web and then onto the banner, and just center it in the middle. There we go. Super cute, super easy. I like this one. Banner is always my favorite, so why not create one? Okay, let's clean this up and we'll get on to number 4. Okay, we're moving on to a super fun one. This one's going to take us just a little bit longer, but I've pre-cut all those pieces and I have my sticker sheet, so let's jump right in. So this embellishment is like a little scene, and I'm using the fill fence punch out that we made back here to kind of be the base and the background to this embellishment cluster. So let's go ahead and grab the fence. And here it is. This was the other half that I used. So it was a 12-inch border, and I only used about 6 inches of it right here. And I just started layering up on top. So for these, now these are a little bigger because again, I used my Cricut and I printed them a little bit bigger. But if we use the ones right off of the sticker sheet, they're just a wee bit smaller. And we're going to put those right down here. I'm going to pull in my mat to build up on top of this while I'm creating, because I want it to kind of hang down so we can still see part of the fence behind. So let's see, there we go. That's cute. And then over here, I'm going to bring in the ghost. I like the one here that says "Happy Haunting." Take that off. And I'm gonna pop that up onto some foam. For now, I'm just gonna take off the bottom one so I can build around on the top. And this one, I'm gonna come almost to the bottom of the fence post. There we go. And then I came in with the trail sign punch. I didn't make too many of these at the beginning, so I'll just bring it in when and if I need it, but I think this is another great one for Halloween layouts. Give it a punch, and then I like to do is trim off the little piece over here. It's almost always the perfect little piece to extend my signpost. And I do have a specific way I wanted it to go. I wanted to say pumpkins going this way toward our two little pumpkins, and then candy going the other way. So I do need to make sure to flip it around. And then I'm going to put a little bit of repositionable tape on the back and extend my signpost like that. Come back in with the tape, put it on the front, and then I'm going to slide it right in here. Bring in my silver marker and write the word candy. Of course, you can write any word that you want to. That's the fun part about this trail sign punch. There, now it's going toward our pumpkins. Kind of looks like a little patch over there. So we're making it very playful, not spooky at all with that cute little ghost. How could it be so spooky? Then I came in with this circle because I did it on some sunflower cardstock, and I liked it because it looks like a full moon. So we have our circle punch again, and punch one out. And I kind of put a little bit of adhesive like that, and then slid it right here, trying to kind of cover up this little open spot as much as I could. But I want to come to the side of the ghost as well. I'm going to go right like that. I think I'm going to move the ghost over just a little bit, like that. Now I can take off the top, and there we go. And then I was so happy to be bringing in some of my little bats from the Stars and Bats border making cartridge. So let's get a little adhesive. And we can put that right up here. There we go. And then you'll see a couple little things I brought in. This little spider webby thing came from that sticker I cut on embellishment number 2, where I wanted it to just say stay spooky. And I'm going to slide this right underneath the ghost. And for 2 reasons. One, I want to use up that sticker. And also I wanted to cover up that little bit of a cut that was still showing on the signpost there. So I like that. And then right here, I brought in one of those firecracker punch outs. This one is with peacock green. I like that color. I think it's going to be a little bit better on this particular embellishment than like the Terra green. So let's see if we have, there we go. And I'm going to just tuck that right behind. I did kind of bring it in, and then like I said, those ones were a little bit bigger, but I'm just going to trim around it once I get it adhered on there. So there we go. I just liked it. I thought it kind of just gave a playful little burst, and I also thought I would bring in a little bit of green because the ghost over here has a little bit of green. So there we go. That is number 4. Let me clean this up and we'll be back with the last one, number 5. Hold on. Okay, here we go with the last one, number 5. I love this style by making a little frame and then having things embellished around the frame. It's super cute. It almost reminds me like the kissing booth in the Peanuts cartoons. But this is how I created this one. I started with a piece of 2.5-inch wide cardstock by 3 inches tall, and I brought in my square punch. And I just like to do it like this. I take the paper and I slide it all the way to the top, and you can use a post-it note if you need to, and I just try and center it, which it should hopefully be centered perfectly. It looks like it, and then I just punch out a square. And this is the look I'm going for. So it kind of looks like a Polaroid film. And then here you're going to see that I brought in a piece of the rustic fence. So instead of using filled fence like I did on the other one, I did go and punch out one border, this one right here. I have some leftovers right here. Now you'll see I didn't punch this one that perfectly, but you know what? It's okay. It's going to get covered up. Plus I think with this one, the more it's bendy and crooked, I think it looks a little bit more Halloween-y and spooky. So I'm going to layer this right on here. Let me go ahead and get a little bit of repo on here. Take that right to the edge, the side and the bottom, and then I'll come over here and cut that off. And then I put a little ghost coming out from behind. So let's grab our little ghost. It's this one here that looks very happy and friendly. And I would take the stickiness off of this. Since the back is exposed, it's going to be helpful that it's not sticky and sticking to all of your papers and things once you file it away with your collection. So I'm going to take this and just put it back here at an angle. I like it like that so that it's kind of, maybe the orange border isn't showing through. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of repositionable tape down there and do it again. See if I can get that same position. There we go. That's nice. And then rub off any extra. There we go. And then I decorated everything else on top of the frame and on top of the fence post. So for this one here, I brought in the candy bucket and I cut the candy part off. So it looked just like that. Put it down here, kind of at the bottom. And then I didn't really care for it at the top once I cut it off. So this, I brought in a little piece from my punch outs. This is from the embossed flower. And I thought, yeah, it fits perfectly right there, like a little stem or a cap. So let's go ahead and get some repositionable on there. And then the cat is also on our sticker sheet. So it's going to be this one right here. And I'm going to take it and put it right here, kind of hanging down a little. And then here at the top, I liked the one that said Ghost Stories. And you'll see this one comes off. It has the little pointy parts like a little banner. And I'm going to trim those down to give me more of a straight edge. So this one I'm just going to place right here. I want it hanging off the edge of the frame a little bit, and I brought it all the way down to the bottom part of that frame. So it looks like that. Then the last thing is, you'll see I brought in an orange flower. Let's see. Yep, let's go ahead and get some. There we go. And then I came back in with a little star. You really could use any of them. Let me try this purple one. And I think I'm going to try and get this up onto a little bit of foam tape. So what I like to do with that is just take one on the edge here and cut it in half. And then take half of it and put it on and there we go. Yeah, I like that a lot better. I might come and do that one as well. And there we go. Super simple. What made it even more simple for me is that I had my tray here with all of my punch outs. So I'm very happy I did this. And I'm going to clean this up, and I'll bring back in all 5 of them so we can take one last look. Okay, here we go. These are the 5 that we made. Space them out a little bit there. And I like them all. You guys let me know. Let me know which one is your favorite and which one do you think you would recreate on your layouts. Because I would really love to know, is this something that you like? Should I continue doing these kind of videos? I enjoy doing this. It kind of keeps me crafting, even if I'm not making a layout. I know that these are going to help me make a fast layout later on. So that's what I have for today. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Have a great day, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.